Caterpillar just confirming they are implementing one-week layoffs for employees in East Peoria, and they're not the only manufacturer to do so.
State workforce records show that John Deere laid off 170 employees in Iowa on Wednesday. Sam Matheny explains what these layoffs are and what this could mean for the local manufacturing industry.
Bradley University economist Joshua Luer says layoffs are cyclical for manufacturers like John Deere and Caterpillar, depending on the climate of the agriculture and mining industries. He says material prices are going up with high interest rates for buyers.
The sales of each one of their equipment can be quite expensive, so it's a large capital outlay for like an end user. I think interest rates are having an effect here on manufacturing.
A Caterpillar spokesperson says their recent decision to lay off employees at their East Peoria facility for 1 week is because of customer demand. We asked them which facility and how many employees are being affected in East Peoria. They declined to answer any of our questions. On Wednesday, Deere cut 170 manufacturing jobs, but it doesn't just affect workers who are now without employment.
And so this is going to be a serious problem, not just because John Deere is such a large employer, but also a lot of the inputs that John Deere uses are produced in the area.
Iowa State professor Peter Erasmus says the effects of the layoffs trickle down to supply chain businesses who sell steel and other materials to both companies. Luer says sometimes manufacturers cut jobs if they're anticipating a slowdown in sales.
Sometimes leading to a self-fulfilling prophecy where recessions occur because people are making cuts, planning for there to be a slowdown, and then it ultimately becomes a slowdown.
According to Industrial Technology Research, a nationally based economics firm, U.S. mining, production, and metalworking machinery is in a recession phase, but researchers expect most markets to thrive in 2025. In East Peoria, Sam Matheny, 25 News.